How does an avoidant ex feel when you ignore them? The first thing is that they feel relieved. This tends to be so frustrating when someone tries to ignore their avoidant ex to see if maybe the person will come back to them, realizing that they've made a major mistake and they want to actually change, or they have some type of reaction to show that they care about you in the relationship. But what you have to understand is that an avoidant thrives in this environment because they no longer feel the pressure to have to open up and express emotions or deal with any conflict that you guys are trying to work through. So they, in the beginning stage of this, feel good, right? This is their happy place. There's nothing that they're expected to do. They're just simply thriving and they're telling themselves that they're fine and they could find somebody else. And part of them feels like they have you on the hook because of how they've been able to kind of manipulate you through this relationship to make you feel like you were the problem as to why they're pulling away, when actuality, we all know it was due to their avoidant attachment style. But what then happens if you stay consistent with ignoring them is that they start to wonder why you haven't checked in. Chances are, up until this point, you were the one reaching out to them to check in on them, to try to see if you guys can work things out. And this only further drove their narrative of being an avoidant, right? They really felt like, oh, I need to be this way because this person is making me feel uncomfortable. They're still reaching out to me. And then there was also a part of them that felt comfortable being this way because they knew that they had you on the hook. They really did feel like, I can do whatever I want and this person's always going to be an option. So I can simply pull away and go off and do whatever I'm doing and, essentially come back to this person when I feel like I actually want to start to have a relationship with you. And it's not okay that they put you through that. But in that timeline, when you're not reaching out to them and it's gone past that expectation, that's when they start to wonder like, maybe I should be a little bit worried because this person isn't reaching out to me, which could mean that they're moving on, which typically leads them to checking in on you secretly. This might be them looking at you on social media in some way or form, and this is essentially their way of kind of making themselves feel better about if they don't see you out with somebody or living your own life, they may still feel okay thinking like, oh, they're just at home waiting for me and they'll reach out to me at some point in time. But if they do start to see like you're moving on, you're maybe doing things out of the norm of what you would do in the relationship, that can kind of make them feel uneasy because it shows that you can thrive without them, which you can, right? Like, you don't need them, but in their mind, they really believe that you need them, right? And that you are waiting for them. And so because of that, they don't really take it seriously. But again, if they're not seeing anything on your social media or if you have them blocked, this starts to get them to be very worried because they're like, what is going on? I have no idea what's happening with this person, which typically will lead them to reaching out to you to check in on you. This is a way for them to test you, right? They're wanting to see how your reaction is when they reach out to you because that will really give them a feel for what is going on. So they may do things like sending you a message of, hey, I miss you, or hope everything's okay with you. I just wanted to check in. All these different things that could be them genuinely wanting to check in, but typically what it is that they're wanting to see if you show any signs of wanting them back or, still thinking about them. And it's so important for you to recognize it in that moment because I know that there's a part of you that probably does still love this person and want to work things out. And it's only natural for you to get excited or hopeful that by them reaching out to you is a sign that they've changed and they want to work things out. But typically there's more of a selfish thing that they're trying to do here. And that is, again, to make sure that they still have you on the hook or have you available to them so that if they feel like they want to come back, they can. And when you don't respond to them, that's really where they start to get nervous because this is so out of the norm typically for how you've responded up until this point when it comes to them doing this. And they don't know how to handle this because it's unexpected, right? It's not following the same pattern and routine that they would expect you to respond and they have curated up to this point. And if you are able to not respond to them, this leads to the last kind of thing that you see happening is that they start to regret their decision. They start to really look at things and say, wow, I really could lose this person. This game that I'm playing no longer works. I need to either start to take this seriously or I'm going to lose this person. And they start to kind of regret all the decisions that they make because they know that you have such value to them, right? They know how much you've tried to make the relationship work, and you know how loving and caring you are. And there is a part of them that wants to be in a relationship with you, but they just simply continue to allow this avoidant attachment style to take over and to not allow them to express themselves and open up and to naturally do the things that you would do in a relationship. So this is where you can see them start to maybe message you telling you how they regret this and how they want to change and how they, you know, are willing to do whatever it takes to work things out with you. And it's so important for you to really have a conversation with yourself and ask yourself, do you want to continue to go through this, right? Maybe this person is genuine with their want to change and they actually do it, but there's also a real reality that they won't, right? Because when it comes to an avoidant, it is very challenging to work through this in an instant, right? They are going to take some time to work through this because this is something that happened when they were younger and they've curated this way of being over a long period of time. So it's going to take them a while to work through this because they're going to have to dig deep. They're going to have to fight through this. They're going to have to do a lot to heal from this. And they're most likely going to need to seek professional help from a therapist to do that. It's important for you to ask yourself, are you wanting to put up with this and go through this, whatever it's going to be, and maybe see if there's a chance of them changing? And that's even if they're able to do that. But there's also, again, that reality that this could be another way of them just trying to rope you back into the relationship. And then once they feel like they're comfortable and they feel like they've got you on the hook again, they're just going to go right back into being avoidant and running that cycle. And you're going to be right back here at square one again. So I hope you did enjoy today's video. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.